for the quarterly Ekoslide adjustment checks. They're called quarterly because you should be checking them approximately every 3 months. Most customers have monthly switch inspections or 6-week switch inspections, and they choose to add that to the switch inspection. As the manufacturer, we recommend you check it every quarter. The basic idea is to just go through and make sure you still have decent adjustment with all the rollers. Normally, you will either adjust no rollers or maybe one, or in a very busy switch 2, you would rarely adjust all the rollers in the switch during the quarterly checks, unless there's been some sort of switch work. Tamping would be a good example, or rod adjustment or that sort of thing could cause you to have to adjust more rollers than 1 or 2. To check the adjustment, you go down the closed side of the switch and make sure you still can get to the second step of your adjustment gauge. So that's 2 millimeters. So I'll go down and checking this one, I still can get to the second step of my feeler gauge. So I'll move down to the next one. And once again, I can still get to the second step. Now I'm going to move down to my third one. And here's where I have a problem. This one right now, I can only get down to step 1. So I'm going to want to raise it. In order to raise it, first you got to loosen this lock nut. So I'll loosen the lock nut. And then by turning the adjustment bolt clockwise, I can raise the roller. Now I can get to the second step of the gauge. So that's it. All I have to do at that point is tighten back down on the lock nut, and this one's done. The next step is simply to throw the switch. Now that I've thrown the switch, you'll see we started on this side. This is now the open side. This is now the newly closed side. So we're now going to go down, starting with the front on the newly closed side. So again, it's the same procedure. And I'm fine here. And I'm fine here. At this point, you'll want to throw the switch back and forth a few times. What you'll want to look for is if any of the individual plates are still rubbing. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting the feeler gauge all the way down the side, just to make sure I can get it in over each plate. If, say, I came to this plate and it was rubbing, then I would know I'd need to raise the nearest roller a little bit more. So I would raise this another notch up just to take the pressure off here. But in this case, I have a nice level switch, and that's not necessary. So this switch has been adjusted, and as you can see, the quarterly switch inspection for the rollers should only take a couple minutes, even if you do have to do an adjustment like in this case we did.